Hello, my name is Max Lopez, and this is my presentation on mergers and acquisitions. What is a merger? A merger is the combination of one or more corporations or limited liability corporations or other business entities into one business entity. Classifications of mergers. There's a vertical merger, which is the acquiring of suppliers of customers. There's a horizontal merger, which the firms are in competing businesses. And there is a congeneric merger. Firms are in related but not competing businesses. There is a conglomerate merger, which means that firms are in entirely different fields. What is an acquisition? An acquisition is a corporate action in which a company buys most, if not all, of another firm's ownership stake to assume control of it. An acquisition occurs when a buying company buys more than 50% ownership of a target company. And as part of the exchange, an acquiring company usually buys the target company's stock or other assets. Size and growth of M&A deals. Volume in 2017 reached around $3.7 trillion globally, and volume involving U.S. targets were just over $1.5 trillion. And there were around 46 deals over 10 billion and 3 deals over 50 billion. And 70% of executives in U.S. headquartered corporations and 76% of leaders in domestic based private equity firms say that deal flow will increase in 2018. Further, there is also virtually a unanimous sentiment that deal size will increase as well. Motivation. A company that plays a major role in a certain market wants to hold on to its existing market share and expand it. And the company may also look to an acquisition as a way to reduce capacity. And if a technology emerges that looks like it can increase productivity, a company may decide that it is more cost efficient to purchase a competitor that already has the technology. Advantages. Synergy is an advantage which allows for increased value efficiencies of the new entity. There's also economies of scale, which is overall cost reduction with a performance increase, and this is due to shared resources and services of the both firms. And there's also a decrease in risk of the total firm, because usually when you acquire a company, it's not completely related to the company you already have. And like we said before, there's also a gain in technology. And one of the biggest advantages is the tax advantage, because two firms merged together are usually taxed less than individual firms separately. Disadvantages of mergers and acquisitions. After a merger and acquisition, there's usually a large amount of unnecessary employees. And you also need to train underskilled employees from the smaller firm. And this can lead to a lot of tension and unnecessary competition between the new workforce. And another disadvantage is the company you acquired or merged with may not be as valuable as you initially estimated. Examples of mergers and acquisitions. In 2017, DuPont and Dow Chemicals successfully merged together, and this was an estimated $130 billion deal. Another example is the merger of Kraft and Heinz. They agreed on a $100 billion deal that gave Heinz a 51 controlling stake in the merger, which I guess is considered an acquisition. And this created the fifth biggest food company in the world. Examples of cross-border merger and acquisitions. One example is the Bayer and Monsanto acquisition. Just recently, German-based Bayer company received approval from the Justice Department to acquire US-based Monsanto company. And this will create one of the world's largest seed and agrochemical companies. It's valued roughly at $66 billion or $128 per share. and it's said to be an all-cash deal. Another example is Verizon Communication and Vodafone acquisition. Verizon Communication acquired Vodafone's 45% stake in Verizon Wireless in 2013, and it's said to be a $130 billion deal of failed mergers and acquisitions. An example is a failed merger between Comcast and Time Warner Cable. They tried to merge together in a stock swap deal, and it's estimated to be around $45 billion. Comcast withdrew from the agreement because of initial recommendations from the Justice Department, and Time Warner Cable ended up being acquired by Charter Cable for $78 billion. Another recent failure between two companies to merge is the AT&T Time Warner Cable merger. It is currently being debated in court, but I highly doubt that it will happen. The Justice Department is suing AT&T to block the $85 billion deal, and they said AT&T will use Time Warner Cable as a weapon to increase fees. That concludes my presentation on mergers and acquisitions. Thank you for watching.